Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRDN. I'm Brian Wantoch. Joining us this morning is Katie Wantoch. She's with UW Extension, of course, based out of Dunn County. Thank you to our newsmaker sponsors, including Alcivia Co-op, Compeer Financial, Osteoplastics, Enibus Silo, Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley, and Synergy Co-op. And we're going to talk with Katie today about she's kind of has a new position. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And Katie, thanks for joining us. Well, before we do all of that, though, you know me, I'm going to ask, how did the spring planting go in Dunn County?
Well, from what I've seen driving around, things look good. I think, we thought it was going to be a little wet this spring, but then it certainly dried out and the rains kind of held off and were fairly light. And so it sounds like we're already through planting, already to side dressing of corn. And so, with the heat that kind of has been kind of here and there, corn certainly starting to take off, and now we're getting some showers in. So yeah, from what I've seen and heard from the few farmers I've talked to, spring planting went well.
Well, you are transitioning to the new Extension Farm Management Professor of Practice position here in July. Wow, that's a mouthful. So, okay, tell us about this new position. What will you be doing?
Yeah, sure. So Extension was pretty fortunate to receive some funding during the last biennium from the government, and we were able to fund a couple of new statewide outreach specialist positions. So 2 farm management positions, and so one is for myself. We're having some new statewide beef outreach, swine outreach, egg water quality. I think there's 8 positions that are newly funded. And so what I'll be doing in this position is similar to what I've been doing in the county. I've worked for Dunn County for almost 12 years now, so it doesn't seem like it, but I'll be focusing on financial management and risk management for all producers in the state of Wisconsin. So looking forward to it.
So that and right now with the high input costs and all of those other things, it's pretty appropriate time for you to kind of take this over. I'm betting you have a lot of topics you're going to be talking about.
Yeah, this first year is really to get a handle. I knew what the needs were in the Dunn County, Chippewa, Eau Claire County areas, but now I'm going to have to get a better idea for the entire state. And is that the same? Is it not? And talking to producers and even specialty crop growers around the state to see what that is. We've been working on some online courses with the pandemic, that kind of spurred some of that new ideas and new thinking about how to deliver some of this information we have. And so one is focused on farm management and financing, has case farms for a dairy and a beef operation. And then we'll start working this fall on a grain marketing. And while $7 corn doesn't really spark a lot of interest in marketing crops, it should be the time for farmers to do it with high input costs, like you said, Brian. And so hopefully that curriculum will be ready to launch, and we'll have some pilots of that one for grain marketing going come winter time.
Talking with Katie Wantoch. She's going to be the new Extension Farm Management Professor of Practice with the University of Wisconsin Extension. And she'll be focusing on a lot of the financial side of the farm business. Now, Katie, okay, so it's you have dairy, you have beef, hogs, the crop folks. Will you also be trying to work with those that are a specialty crop, or even, I know Buffalo County is working on some things for those that want to start that hobby farm. Here's some things you better be looking at before you jump into this, but will you be working on things like that too?
Yeah, so we've really seen a need, for example, from the Wisconsin cranberry growers. They would like some assistance, and financial also comes into farm succession and that transition planning. So we'll be working with them. In Dunn County, there's been a lot of interest in our kidney bean and the growth of that industry here. So working with producers around the state, because I know they're trying to expand their market. We've seen some interest from mung growers looking at some of those farmers markets and really increasing even into others besides into that specialty, commercial vegetable, what have you. But yes, trying to find, update our budgets for all kinds of crops that are produced in the state of Wisconsin, hazelnuts up in the Northwest, and hemp down in this area as well. So
sounds like you're going to be having to do a lot of potential learning here. You're going to kind of be like Allison Darland because you're going to have to know all of it.
Yes. Well, luckily it's just the financial and looking at how to evaluate our risks and where do you want to go with those type of risks out there. But luckily I have colleagues in the statewide program for farm management that'll be working on human resources and farm safety. And then another colleague who is working more on how do you get your business started and off the ground and what should you look at. So Steph Plaster has taken on that role, Jim Verswevel looking at human resources and farm safety. And then we're in the process of hiring somebody to replace Mark Stevenson. And that person will be working on dairy policy and markets and working with dairy farmers.
No, Mark isn't allowed to leave. I thought that was passed in this budget. He wasn't allowed to leave. Again, we're talking with Katie Wantoch this morning, and she is, again, the brand new Extension Farm Management Professor of Practice, and she'll be starting her new position here coming up soon as well here in July. Now, Katie will also be going ahead and will be taking a trip overseas to talk a little bit about farm management as well. And I know that Katie is getting excited about that. And yes, we every now and then we'll have the internet drop. But Katie, tell us about this upcoming trip.
Yeah, hopefully I'm not sure my system went a little crazy there, Brian. So hopefully you've got me here back again. But yeah, I'm excited to be going to it's called the International Farm Management Association Congress. And I'll be presenting some of my research that I've been done on motivational interviewing that we've incorporated some of that work in working with farmers and farm succession in particular. But I'm participating in a pre-tour where I'll be touring agriculture in Norway and Sweden. And also the conference is in Copenhagen, Denmark, and then looking at some agriculture in Denmark as well.
Wow. And I'm betting you're going to, not only you get to present, but I'm sure you're going to bring back some pretty interesting things for farmers back here in Wisconsin with what you're having to do.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, we're on that same kind of equivalent longitude, latitude lines over there. They're just a little farther north than we are here in Wisconsin, especially in Northwest. But so it'll be interesting. I just know, especially in Norway, that with the fjords, there's a lot more hills. So it'll be interesting to see how they're farming on those hills and what that looks like. I know there's a lot more grazing that happens over there. So it'll be interesting definitely to come back. And I'll also be over there over Midsummer's Eve, which is quite a bit of a celebration over in Europe. And so that'll be fun to see how they celebrate that in their culture.
Well, I know that when Carl Dooley, he's worked with some folks over in Germany. I think he's even toured some of the dairy farms where they use hemp in the dairy farms. That in and of itself is a fascinating topic. So maybe we'll even learn a little bit about that too. Yeah,
definitely. We're touring quite a variety of agriculture, including the research that they're doing at their universities. So it'll be interesting. Definitely information to bring back and talk about here.
All right. Well, Katie, again, congratulations on the new position. We look forward to finding out more about some of these upcoming farm management events on the financial side, which I think is very important that you'll be hosting. Thanks again.
Thanks, Brian, for having me today.
That is Katie Wantoch. She is the new Extension Farm Management Professor of Practice. She's going to be starting that here in July. And you're listening to Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRDN.